For our next presentation, I would like to invite to the floor Dr. Craig Shimasaki, CEO of Biosource Consulting Group.
Thank you. I was told I had 1 to 2 minutes, so I can tell you what Henry VIII told his fourth wife. I won't keep you long. But this group here is, rather than a project, it's actually a company. And the company is in the biotechnology space. And biotechnology is really an interesting field in that the time to development and the cost of developments are really unlike any other field. So for everything from a diagnostic to, say, a therapeutic, you can expect that it could cost anywhere from as low as $50 million to as high as $250 to $350 million. And it could take anywhere for a diagnostic 5 to 7 years to 15 years to see a therapeutic product to market. So you can imagine what entrepreneurs go through in order to bring these products to market. And having co-founded 3 companies, and I see another colleague and co-founder in here, whom we took one public, I had an affinity to a saying that says, learn from the mistakes of others because you never live long enough to make them all yourself. Sometimes I think I have. But in the biotech field, it is really the marrying of business and science. And because science and biology of humans is so variable, I really like to liken it as the business of uncertainty. Because what you're doing is you're taking business concepts and you're actually tying them to biological unknowns with a high price tag and also a long time to development. So you can imagine the challenges that are facing these entrepreneurs and the biotechnology industry. But having said that, some of the greatest developments that have ever been made in medicine have come from biotechnology. AIDS drugs that never were thought of before, antibodies that will actually target and treat breast cancer specifically for tumors that are of a certain type that actually have very little or no toxic side effects. Things such as what you'll hear about antibiotics that actually evade the resistance of bacteria that have mutated so rapidly. And the challenges are very high, but so are the rewards. And so most entrepreneurs in this field don't really get in it to make a truckload of money, though I hope they do. They get in it because they really see the value of what they're doing to actually make an impact and significance on healthcare and life in general. And 2 of the things that are really important, and I try to stress this to a lot of entrepreneurs, is that you have to have vision and you have to have passion. And you'll see that in this team, and you've seen it in all the teams. But vision is so important, and vision is just seeing things what other people don't see. So you're looking at things and you're actually seeing something that others do not see. And it really is true in everyday life because we do this all the time, but we don't really think about it. Because any structure that exists, like the Eiffel Tower or the Statue of Liberty, it existed in someone's mind many, many, many years before it ever was created. And so you have to have vision and you have to see things that other people don't see. And you'll hear a wonderful story about that. But then you also have to have passion. And my wife sometimes gets me on to me about that a little, because sometimes in the beginning I would say, you wouldn't want to buy this, would you? And you're really trying not to discourage people, but you're trying to engage them and let them see the vision that you see, because once they see that, they become part of your team, and they actually become a co-worker, a co-laborer in actually getting that vision done. There's an interesting scripture in the Bible that says, where there is no vision, people perish. And iChina is a nice example of that. But you have to have vision. And without that vision, you really don't have a lot. And that's why the United States is such a great company. or an industry and a country with many companies that actually function from entrepreneurship is because of the vision that people have and the freedom and the ability to create things that don't exist. So this is my first exposure to CCEW, and I can say that I have been very thoroughly impressed with not only what I've seen, but what they have been doing here. And I didn't know it existed, but they have some of the brightest and the most talented individuals within the organization, and they have a vision for what they see. And so that vision has created a lot of the things that you're going to hear and you continue to hear. But I also want to give kudos to Dr. Ann Pereira, who is the entrepreneur and the inventor, and I think maybe at least a decade she has been working on this in quiet obscurity inside of her laboratory. And now with the help of the team and the CCW, they have won this grant, which is a significant part of this program of getting to those, I don't know how many hundreds of millions of dollars you're going to need, but getting it on the way to actually becoming a commercial product. So Team Biolytics, they are a diverse group, law students, geologists, accountants, engineers, and you wouldn't think of that as being a biotech group that actually would come together, but they have passion, and I wish I had half their energy, but they apply that in a multidisciplined fashion that actually comes up with so many questions that I have to think about, is that the right answer? Because some of these questions I haven't heard before. But they are things that curious minds end up being able to see things that other people don't see. So I think you'll be really pleased to hear and listen to this story. But remember, it actually is a company, and that company is actually functioning, and we hope to see that product on the market that will be able to save a lot of lives here in the future.